Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to the live stream today. It's art time. Thursday means art time. Every day pretty much for me means art time, but today you get to see it too. So welcome. My name is Jessica Vanderpool and I am an illustrator and I'm working on a graphic novel called Interstella. It is in the production process, so you get to see little snippets of what I'm working on. Right now I am working on a little pilot comic for it. So it's introducing one of the main characters and giving me a chance to test run a bunch of different art methods and choose the one that I like. So I am working on a page today. And I will mention that I invited some artists. A couple of our regulars can't make it today, so it probably will be just me. We'll see if anyone else hops in. Yeah, in that case, I might keep it a little bit shorter. I have some other things I got to work on and get finished. So we'll just try and make it as productive as we can. As some of you regulars might know, we do have the chat here, so feel free to throw any questions or comments into the chat. I will be working and I'll be checking the chat intermittently. And yeah, so by the way, I'm looking over this direction. If you've been around and you've seen this a few times, I'm looking over here because I now have 2 monitors. So it's really exciting and I am figuring out my new setup and I have you guys on this monitor over here. So that's why it looks like I'm staring off into space. And I'll be checking the chat over here. So bear with me as I figure things out. And I see that a few people have already joined in the chat. So welcome Maria and Josipa and Dan, who's here in spirit and keyboard and all. Aw, so fun. Well, welcome guys. I'm glad you can join today. Thanks for hopping on in. So yep, I'm going to go ahead and hop on to my page here. So I have this page I've been working on. It's actually pretty close to being done. I've been going back and doing what I've been calling revisions. So I've found the style I've been wanting to employ for my comic, and I've been going back on some of those pages that really needed some help. So this is one of them. I'm almost done with it. There's a few elements that need to be changed and tweaked. So yeah, come along for the ride and hopefully you get some work done as well. I am working in Clip Studio Paint and I have all my layers here and I color code them. So that way it just makes it easier to figure out where I'm at in all my layers, because I have a ton of layers and those folders have more layers in them and have more layers in them. So it just keeps it really easy. So Clip Studio is pretty awesome in that regard. So yes, yeah, multi-monitors are really nice. So it's very foreign to me. I have my desktop extended and sometimes my mouse will disappear because it'll go on the other monitor. I'll be like, where did it go? And it's like, oh, it's back now. So it's just getting used to some tweaks. I'll probably actually at some point show you guys my setup when I figure it out a little bit more, but it's really cool. The monitors I have can both angle vertically. So I actually earlier today had my right monitor tilted 90 degrees. So I had like one massive page as a reference to the side. It was great. So it's really fun to kind of see what I can do with these things. So yeah, Joseph, I see you have a question. And I see Dan fastens his seatbelt. Yes. Get ready for the ride. Giuseppe, go ahead and ask your question. It's a question about a font for a comic. So please post it away. It's actually something I am getting ready to work on. Fonts, not really excited for that, but it's necessary. I'm just going to go ahead and start. I'm adding more lines into this page because it needed it. And I was going to use some. So one of the reasons I got my second monitor set up is StreamYard can only play music while you are sharing your entire screen. So I figured it's like, well, if I have my workspace here and my other screen playing music, but then I ran into the problem of actually trying to find music that's royalty free. And I was like, you know what? I gotta put a little more thought to this. Because I don't want to run into any trouble. So, okay. See you guys talking about Blambot and fonts. Yeah, I made a font out of my handwriting. And I'm trying to determine if it's something I actually do want to use for my comic. So that's my next stage, is actually putting all the word balloons, or really the text boxes, in for this comic. And yeah, trying to find the right font, because a font can make or break a good comic. As an acquaintance of mine has said before, you know, a good font can really make it shine or really highlight the flaws. No, I'm not doing this right. Let's just do that. Ooh, I should probably pull up my references. I just realized. Oh, I'll check it later. I had some references here. Lines. All right, so Dusipa's question is, which font do you use, and is it free? I've had a bunch of fonts, but never enough of them. And it seems like you can't find the one that I like. Yeah, that's tricky. That's actually something I'm trying to figure out right now. So unfortunately, I don't really have a good answer to your question. Ask me in a month and I'll know. I have my main text ready to go. It's sort of I'm still looking for the right font. Like I was kind of mentioning before, though, I'm the place where I made my font was, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I might have to look it up a little later, but it was pretty easy, because you can just you can either traditionally write it down and scan it in all the letters, and you can make a font for free. It only had 75 characters. It was for free, but that's enough for me. Oh my goodness. I'm sure if you Googled it, it'll pop up right away. I just can't think of what it's called right now. Something script, I thought. Okay, well, I'll look it up in a little bit. Yeah, you know, I would just look up a lot of tutorials at the moment. I don't have a lot of help I could offer you, since I'm still kind of in that place as well, trying to figure out what to do. I'm sorry. Looks like yeah, Maria, I agree with you. Let me see if I can do this thing. Here we go. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, fonts are pretty tricky. And making your own font. So one of the things, the reason why I'm sort of on the fence with my own font is if you've ever studied typography, it's not as easy. There's a lot of things you got to do to make it look correct. and a lot of kerning issues, meaning like the spacing above and below the characters and in between, and if your characters are taller or shorter than the other one. So yeah, there's it's a tricky thing, and as you probably are well aware, every font every font says something different. So it really kind of depends on the mood and the theme of your comic as well. Ooh, that's not gonna work. You know what? I'm gonna work on that later. Back. There we go. There are some good links that just talk about the good habits and bad habits for incorporating type and fonts into your comic. I'll try and find those links in a little bit too, but I found those really interesting because they talked about just general spacing and word balloons, and they talked about what I found really interesting when you use the letter I, like I'm going to the grocery store, the I would actually have, I'll just draw it here. Oops, maybe kind of like the top caps. Oh my goodness, I don't remember what they're called right now. Whereas if you were to use it in a word, it would just be, I'm trying to find an example. Let's just say India, for example. I think it wouldn't have any end caps. It'd just be a straight line. So that was kind of interesting. And actually all of these words in a lot of the traditional use of fonts are all capitalized. And it made it for easier spacing and to fit in word balloons. I think it was clarity of reading. So yeah, you can look it up on just using fonts, and you'll see how a lot of the traditional comics tend to have all capitalized uses of fonts. But if you're doing like an independent comic, like a lot of us have been working on here, I've seen both ways, and I've seen them both used really well. So I would say study the comics that you really want to emulate and see what they do. Are they using all caps? Are they using lowercase as well? Are they, what was I going to say about that? Yeah, like look at the color of the word balloons. Do they use word balloons? There are ways that it can all be done right that aren't necessarily the traditional way of doing it. So yeah, I would study what other people have done. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly check the comments and the questions one more time, and then I'm going to plow into this. Let's see. So catching back up, Dan was, as we're talking about royalty-free music. Yeah, so there are places I've been looking to try and find those royalty-free music. And it is kind of weird because you really have to figure out which ones you like. I don't know. And I build bonds with music over time, so it's hard for me to just throw anything in there. And there are good playlists now on YouTube, but you still have to go through them. And some of the songs are no longer, they're like copyrighted again. So you kind of have to avoid that. I don't know. So that's what's kind of like, you know what? It's not worth it for right now. Let's see. What else? Flashback. Where is it? Oh, I missed it. Sorry, y'all. Two monitors. I'm trying to figure this out. Yes. Flashbacks. I hear ya. Oh, typography. Man, I have respect for people who make fonts and typography. Thank you. Serif. Actually, there's a different technical term because serif means like, serif is, you have a T and it has these little guys on it. Whereas that's sans serif. Oh man, am I right? Or am I forgetting everything? Will my typography teacher be like, what? Well, I gotta go back to school. Maybe I'll just make a wordless comic. All right. Yeah, just as you're talking about, there might be rules if you're going through the traditional publishing and going through like a publishing house. But if you're independently self-publishing and putting out your own comics, I think there are good guidelines to follow. But I mean, really, the sky's the limit. You're the independent publisher. So, oops. Oh, here we go. And Maria, I'm redoing the font families and word bubbles on my comic. Oh, you hop on and share what you have. Font families and word. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm just trying to figure out how I can send you a link. You might need to, I wonder if, I think if you message me your email, I can send it to you that way. So yeah. Anyone get ideas? How can I get this to you? I can get this link to you. Actually, I might be able to send it to you directly. Oop, maybe not. All right, sorry guys. Give me a second. Oh no, I'm sharing everything. Wow, this is crazy. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure this out today. I'm going to go ahead and actually stop sharing my screen. I thought I was just on my application. Oh, never mind. That was not. Just kidding. Okay, so there's that. I'll go ahead and just put it here for now. And I should know this. I should know how to do this. Oh man, I just doubled the fun with like 2 screens now, so sorry you get to watch me stare like a deer in headlights. All right. Okay, let me see if I can maybe message you a link. I just don't know if I can. Here, one sec, y'all. This might get a little feedback. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to see if I can message you. But I can't click on your name. I feel so technically feeble. Oh, man. Well, Maria, I don't know if you can message. Well, I should be able to message you. Oh, man. I'm trying to get a link to Maria without putting the link in the public to join. Oh, you know what? Well, sorry, people. I'm just having trouble with this. I'm thinking. Oh, man. I just can't figure this out right now. Sorry. Maria, if you can message me on my YouTube account, I can reply back with the link. I think that's going to be the way we do it. You're helping me learn this stuff. I think that should be it. Yes, I'm trying to send Maria a link. I think that's... Oh, man, I don't know how else to do that right now. Yeah, possibly on Instagram. I know there has to be a better way of doing this. And I don't really want to just throw out my email to the public as I'm just figuring out more privacy measures. Technology, I know. Oh, you get to see live my feeble technology struggles. Hatu dagu. Ugh. I can art, but I can't technology. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. So let me know. Hi, Larry. Thank you for joining. Can you help me? Yeah. It can be, but I just can't figure out how I'm finding her. How I can yeah, I just don't know how I can like find Maria's account through YouTube or my subscribers. Oh my goodness, I'm just ready to be like, whatever. Okay, well, you know what? There you go. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that either. Ugh. Sorry, the game changes when it's a public live stream, so that's why I don't want to give out too much of my personal information. If I could just find you directly, I'd rather send it to you that way. Yeah, if you can snap. Okay, let's do this. Message me on Instagram. Sorry, I just kind of froze because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Now let's see if Instagram updates. Ha. Yes, I found you. Thank you. Oh man, stump the artist. People are like joining in. Like, I thought this was an art live stream. Is this like the tech help desk? Okay, here we go. And then I don't know what screen I'm looking at. This is little circus going on. Okay, here we go. Actually, I gotta find the link. This is hilarious. Oh, and that's right. It's on my second screen over here. This is funny. Okay. And there it goes. You should have it now. Thanks. Oh my goodness. Well, it'll come in just a second. Yeah, I'm here all day just to entertain and maybe draw. We'll see. Okay. Yeah. So let me know. I'll just keep checking to see when you join and I will let you in. Wow, is it Batman? Someone got to figure that out in the future. Trying to find music for my station. I just got to figure out how to like contact people. My husband will look at this later. He's so good at communications. He would have been like, all you got to do is this. Like, yep. That's all I could have done. All right. Try and get a little art going. Oh, and you're here. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd figure if you're just figuring stuff out, I'm pretty new to this myself. So better to do it when there's a small audience.
Absolutely. And it's good to get everyone's collective feedback and thoughts and help. So,
yep.
Do you have a way of sharing your screen?
Well, I got this option here, share screen. I'm going to try that.
Okay. And then what I will do is I will actually Yeah, let me know when you share your screen, and then I can share
Yeah.
it to StreamYard.
I currently don't have 2 monitors. I usually do have a second monitor, but my sister is using it right now. So yeah, guess I'll just be sharing with a single screen here. Share screen. We'll see how this goes.
I'm just used to running.
Once to share content, choose what you'd like to share.
You can share your whole screen, or you can share just the application.
System preferences. This is fun. Okay. Yeah, my Mac is trying to figure out how to handle this right now.
Well, take the time you need.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do entire screen and just share it if it'll.
Okay.
As long as it's not giving me. Okay, so security and privacy. Let's see if there's anything here. Okay. Able to record until it is quit. Okay, it says Google Chrome will not be able to record the contents of your screen until it is quit. You can choose to quit Google Chrome now or do it on your own later. I'm guessing that means I need to quit it now if you want to see it. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, she quit it altogether. Come back. Man, this is an exciting stream today. Well, she should be able to hop back on in a second. I thought it was just going to be a really boring stream with me doing boring things. Keep everyone on their toes. Yeah, let me know. Oh, she's gone. Come back, Maria. Okay, well, I'm going to put this on the second screen, and I'll just keep an eye out for her joining. Anyways, guys, I'm so glad tomorrow's Friday. Oh, man, it's been such a tiring week. Oh, she's back. Okay, yeah, there it is.
Hello. Yeah, I think I needed to quit Chrome in order for the thing to go through. So let's see if it'll work now. Share screen, entire screen. Let's make sure. Click the lock to make changes. It's being, Man, it's being, okay, let's try this. Share. It's not letting me share for some reason. It's kind of weird. Maybe it needs to be application window.
You could try the application window. I actually prefer the application window. So
yeah. Let's see. This is going to be interesting.
Have a lot of features as soon as they're able. Oh, there we go. Here we go.
Oh wow. Okay. Let me see here. Okay.
Here we go.
So yeah, I can see it when I look at it on this thing and then slide over and see this. Cool. Wow, you're looking at my comic page. Yay.
Here it is, guys. Read the comic. Well, also tell us a bit about what you're working on.
Oh, okay. It's a webcomic called Morphic, and it's about teenagers finding out that they're shapeshifters in the woods, basically. Yeah. I've been working on it for 4 years now, but super, super private, like only sharing it with friends and family on Facebook. And basically just doing it just to figure out if it's something that I want badly enough to pursue as because I really liked the idea of becoming an independent comic artist. But obviously that would I knew that would take a lot of work, and I would need to do a lot more than just art to do that. And I first needed to convince myself if basically if I liked this story enough to keep going with it for a long time. And yeah, 4 years later, I figured out, yeah, I think I'm there. Now to build an audience. Here we go. So
I get it. Kudos to you for getting it up there, and you've been posting for the last 4 years.
So let's see. I actually started posting pages on on the Facebook page itself for like the first year, and then I got a website, a template website, which happens to be the same website it's currently on, but I've fixed it up a little bit since then. But yeah, basically, yeah, been using the same website. It works. So yeah,
If it works,
it works. I just need
yeah.
a custom domain name.
Sorry, what was that?
It just needs a custom domain name, apparently.
That's the easy part.
You'd think that, but the hosting, you have to follow hosting rules, and the platform I'm using does not appear to make that straightforward. But it's free. It's also free web hosting too. So
Okay.
I just need to read more into it, see if I can make it work. But if not, move on to something that's that I might basically cheap hosting, but hopefully secure hosting.
So, are you using WordPress?
Nope.
Okay.
This is it's a static site. So all the web pages are, so there's no database. That's basically the thing. Everything is built hard coded. So I'm literally opening a file to edit the contents of a post. And so I'm opening a text editor instead of opening like something that looks like Word. I'm opening something that looks like Notepad. But
wow.
yeah, the hosting for that and that particular type of thing is useful for developers, not so useful for people who rely on a very user-friendly interface like WordPress.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes. I can share the link to my comic real quick.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay, cool.
In there.
Make sure this works. Okay. Do I just do it in the private chat? Or
Yeah, actually, I mean, I would say put in the if you post a comment, it should go to YouTube. So if you want it out there, I say you should.
comments, the comments tab here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, on the comments tab.
So people can. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
If I was streaming to multiple platforms, I think you'd have a choice where you could put it.
Huh.
But I'm just streaming to YouTube.
Interesting. I'm able to see comments. I don't think I can add a comment on here.
Ooh.
And then private chat, it gives me a text box so that I can enter in something.
If you put in the private chat, oh yeah, you might not be able to put it. Go ahead and put in the private chat and I'll transfer it over.
Sure.
There we go. All right, guys. So make sure you go check out Maria's comic, Morphic, that she's been working hard on for the last 4 years. Proof of the love for a comic.
Yep. I'm still in the process of actually updating pages. So the original plan for this was actually going to be a 5-book series, but I since then have shortened it to 3 books. And instead of over 100-page books, they're less than 100-page books. And I'm thinking that they would sell better if I just, instead of focusing on them each being like a separate book in of itself, I would just say that they're chapters, combine them into one. Because at the end, it'll be I expect the combined page total will be over 200 pages because I'm approaching the end of book 2, and it's getting close to 70 pages, which is about the same number as book 1. Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of so I'd say plot wise it's 2/3 of the way done, but I'm still going back and basically reshading, and well, not even reshading on a lot of pages. I started out with just the line art to begin with. That's the problem. The line art is still up there.
How is that?
Over time, I've been going back and coloring old pages.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, I really want to do those out of the way and try to fix some of the pages in book 2 as well, because there was a time at the beginning of book 2 where I kind of wasn't sure what I was doing, I guess. I don't know.
Join the club.
I need some love there too. But yeah. But anyway, here's my text. Let's see if I can zoom in here.
I was gonna say, I love the characters, and they each look just individually different and have just fun, unique expressions. So sometimes I see a lot of comics and it's all like just the same across the board. So that's really fun to see the dynamic expressions going on. And
yeah, thank you.
Was this done in Clip Studio, or what program did you use?
Okay, I guess I should go in here and so this is what you're looking at here is a GIMP file.
Okay.
This is what GIMP looks like. Although you're not seeing the dockable dialogues, but I have them floating around.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, yeah, there's not much to it. I'd say the difference between this and Photoshop is that it includes buttons for transformations instead of going to the edit menu and going down and saying transform, blah, 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 blah. It actually has a button for transformations. It has a button for bucket fill, which is something you'd be familiar with if you were on like Microsoft Paint or something like that. Yeah, I know that on Photoshop. So for years, I have years of experience on GIMP, and then going to Photoshop, I'm like trying to figure things out. Like, how do I fill? And
so it is different from.
I have to go to a drop-down menu and select fill instead of doing the bucket fill. So there's that.
Oh,
yeah, there's that, and then there's masks, layer masks. Yeah, I had to figure out how to add a layer. Layers work a little bit differently, but just from creating a new layer. I'm still, I understand that Photoshop was created to make the editing process a lot more intuitive to somebody who's not used to editing illustrations and all. I'm just used to GIMP, where it's usually a step-by-step process. You do this, then you do that, then you do this, and then. Anyway, yeah, it's instead of combining everything into one fell swoop, it's okay, yeah. Like I know, Photoshop. The nice thing about Photoshop is you can select something and then just move it, and it's all on the same layer. That's very nice.
I can't do that with GIMP. Really?
Nope.
Huh, I've never used GIMP before. Huh.
Yeah, it's free to download. You can play around with it if you want. Yeah. But basically, I'm not sure. You'd have to look up if you can open Photoshop files in it, but I'm pretty sure that it's like, yeah, GIMP files you can only open with GIMP. That makes sense. Yeah, basically, if you want an image, you just export it. It's pretty similar to how you do it in other image manipulation programs. I think you can export to TIFF. I saw that in the documentation. I made sure to look that up. Because yeah, GIMP, it's where it's at.
But tell me, so you drew all the text yourself, like the word bubbles, or did they have tools like that?
They okay. They do have a freestyle drawing tool. Let's see, what do they call it? They call it Free Select Tool. Yeah. So it's basically the lasso tool in Photoshop. And I use a Intuos tablet. This cute little guy in pistachio.
Yep.
Yeah, I use that, and I created these speech bubbles yesterday for the first time, and I'm like, wow, this looks so much better. I should probably show you what I had before. Yep, I still have the layer for the old bubbles. So I basically had this style of bubbles before.
Yeah.
So it looks a lot different.
Yeah, I like what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I like
So
the colors on them too.
the colors are
Because
great.
with
Yeah.
multiple speakers, it's helpful to differentiate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I experimented with that just because I knew that Jason Brubaker did it.
Mhm.
It's not an uncommon thing to do. It was just kind of like I was so used to doing one style of speech bubbles for 4 years. Before then, I didn't even start with coloring. So it wasn't until like book 2 that I started coloring. So I was using text bubbles that were supposed to look legible and okay on black and white pages. So yeah.
Interesting. No, I like. Is it possible you could zoom into the top a little bit and scroll down?
Yes. Okay. Another nice thing about GIMP is it gives me a quick zoom. It gives some nice commands for zooming in and out. So like I can just do the key combination for doing the plus sign, and it would zoom in, and then I would press the dash for zooming out.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, if you have the text tool selected, then it'll think that you're trying to enter in a plus sign or a minus sign. So you would need to select a different tool in order to zoom in and out with those controls.
The same thing with Photoshop and Clip Studio.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a headache, but it's doable.
Yeah. So this is basically. I think the downside of doing these kind of colors is that I have to keep track of contrast. So to make sure that you can read what's in there, and 2, you make sure that you can tell people can tell, even if they're colorblind, if there's a speech bubble there or if it's just text on a background, I guess.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, that's a good thing to be aware of.
Yeah.
And if you're going to print it, if it's going to print out.
Yep.
Properly.
Yeah, if you were stroking the speech bubbles, which was what I was doing before, then you wouldn't have to worry about that, but then it looks really ugly, I guess.
It's a different stylized choice. And depending on how you stroke it, it either can look cheaply done, or you spend a lot more time to make it look really good.
I remember Jason talking about how he strokes speech bubbles in Photoshop. And I remember him saying that there were options for stroking inside, outside, both. And I'm like, GIMP doesn't have that. I don't think it does anyway.
Yeah, that is a nice thing with Photoshop is you can stroke on just the outside of a selection, or just on the inside, or right on top.
I think what you would do is just do it on another layer below it or something, and then it would be just on the outside or something like that. You'd have to play with the layers in order to get it the way that you want, if you wanted it to be one or the other instead of both.
Yeah, there are multiple ways of doing that. You could even if you want it, you could even select the word bubble, expand your selection by a few pixels, and then fill underneath. So essentially you're creating a stroke, but there's pros and cons because strokes use the engine in let's say Photoshop, where if there's a slight bump in your word bubble, it'll stroke that as well. So it can look a little messy. So it has to be done kind of properly.
I've decided I'm done with stroking those speech bubbles. I think I like this style better. It's a lot simpler.
And I see a lot of people actually using it lately and doing it really well and not needing the stroke, and it lends a different feel. It's a nice clean approach, and it's almost a little more independent creator style and a modern look as well.
Yeah.
So
There's another comic that I had followed where they used squares for the speech bubbles, and it's like, wow, that's a unique style thing, but
yeah.
like you don't have to stick to circles.
I like the kind of the rougher, more natural blocks that you have, that kind of free form. It seems like you have good spacing in between.
That's good. Yeah. I'm trying to avoid overlap this time. I don't want to worry about more contrast between speech bubbles. You know?
I would just, and this might be just a personal opinion, I would, it's not really a big deal, but for some of the tails that you have, the girl on the bottom left, the tail kind of curves around a bit. So I would keep it maybe a little simpler, unless you really want to say like she's saying it with, if you like she's saying it with like meaning or kind of surreptitiously, but it adds character to the speech bubble, and it can not really here, but it can take away or become a distracting element. Keep it pretty simple.
Sure.
A little like the girl above it's better.
Okay.
But that's just a smaller detail. The other thing I will say that had a little bit of confusion is the two passages where it starts with our project report is due on Monday.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't sure if he was saying that. It looked kind of like her internal monologue.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it might need to be bubbled.
Yeah, and then I'd have to make it shorter because I think it's taking up too much space. So,
or you could put it in the background so that you don't have to like fit everything in. It could like the green speech bubble or whatever his color is would be behind.
It's orange.
Hers would be a little on top. So
yeah.
Okay. I was actually looking at someone's comic recently, and I was amazed how actually it was Lackadaisy, if you're familiar.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
It's really a little bit. Good comic. But the gal who makes that, Tracy, forgot her last name, a lot of her characters overlap the speech bubbles. So the speech bubbles are behind the character's head, or like part of their head is obscuring it. So she's able to actually fit them all in without much trouble of figuring out where to put them. So, and it looks like, I can't tell if you've done that already, but that's something that you can consider, even with the panel, the most bottom leftmost panel.
Yeah.
Her head could be like, the speech bubble could be behind it a little bit too, if you need a little more space.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. At first, I thought it was their internal monologues.
Yeah. I'm glad that I got some feedback on that, because it's easy to look at it and think that it makes sense to you. I just wanted a second opinion.
I totally get it. That's why it's so valuable to share art with other people, and they catch things in your blind spot that you don't see, and vice versa. So.
I intend for this to be the last time I change the text on this comic. I don't want to go back over 100+ pages.
Yeah, you know what? I just don't see anything else. I mean, as just on this page alone, it looks good. That's the only. I mean, and I would say even like the tails aren't even a big idea. It's just something to be mindful of as you go forward to make sure they're serving the purpose, but not taking the main stage.
I appreciate it.
Great. Yeah. And I like the color that you use for the speech bubbles. It's not too bright, where it's not upsetting main characters, but you can still
wanted it to be less saturated, but you could kind of tell who's talking a little bit. Although mostly I think it makes sense to use white for the most part, especially if the background is colored instead of this white looking background.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you have the liberty to break certain rules that, it's guidelines. Whatever helps get the message across. I mean, we were watching Jason one time, and I remember he was drawing some girl's hair, and I was like, her hair should be black. And he's like, it probably is not as dark. And I'm like, you know what? You're right.
I
Like,
hope that she's the only girl in the comic thus far.
yeah, and there are other guidelines that help keep it, help clarify it. So I found that really interesting, and you know, everything plays into it. So you can break and bend the rules a little bit. But it's good to share with others, and then someone will say like, yeah, that makes sense, or ooh, I got a little confused there.
Cool.
But it looks great. Everyone, yeah, definitely check out Morphic, and I'm gonna have to go check that out myself.
Thank you.
So your plan is, you said you had 2 books in the process, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't started book 3 yet. You can read the story to the end of book 2 because that's how far I've gone plot-wise. I'm still in the process of going back and refinishing old pages. So some of them are in black and white, some of them are colored but don't match the style of the latest pages, and others are actually finished. But now that I've decided to change the text, I have to change the text on all of them. Expect changes in the next few months.
Well, it's looking really good.
Thank you.
Are you planning on, when you do go back and make all the corrections, are you planning on like kickstarting it, or just putting it out there and garnering an audience first?
Well, I'm trying to focus on building up an audience first, I think would be the logical approach. It would be great if I could just run a Kickstarter and get funding for a whole year and finish everything in 1 year, because I think that would be great. It's possible I could do that if I worked full-time every week to do that. I just don't. I don't know. It'd be weird to come out of the blue on social media, literally, because I think I posted once in Twitter ever in the whole time that I've been on Twitter. And in Instagram, I started making my first post this week. So, yeah, at least I'm on Facebook. I have friends and family on Facebook. Yeah, I have a subscriber list, and there's just a handful of emails on my subscriber list, which, by the way, you can find the link to my subscription sign up on the website. You just click on subscribe at the top, and you just sign up for a mailing list with your email. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I just figure I think it would make sense because I'm not good at marketing. I need to practice the marketing, and I think social media will help me practice the marketing.
It does help. I'm finding it's helping. Instagram is a good and easy place to start. It's visually, it's meant for visuals. So, yeah, I think you have a good plan in place. You have a mailing list. I'm still working on mine, so you are light years ahead.
Yeah, MailChimp. That helps.
Right on. Well, Morphic Comic. Check it out.
Thanks, Josepha, for wishing me best of luck. Keeping an eye on these comments here.
Yep. And we got Jada. Hello, welcome. How did you find us? I'm glad you're here. So, well, cool. Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm trying to figure out building an audience and starting slow and just getting the word out there before kickstarting it, and that's just a whole nother can of worms. So I get it. Well, you are welcome if you wanted to stick around and hang out, work on art, or if you want to be like, I'm done, I'm good. But
I can work on my art. I might open another page though.
Sure.
I'm pretty much done for today on this one. So yeah, let's see.
Well, I'll let you get that up, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll put this back on for a little bit.
Okay.
Let you, and then I'm going to try and put this on the other screen. figuring this stuff out. It's very, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my double screen. Technology.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can I?
Jada, you are working on a graphic novel. Really, more illustrated and comic style.
That's cool.
Well, if you do have a link to it or your art, toss it into the chat so we can see. Or if you're keeping it under wraps, I totally understand. I've been doing that for a while on my comic, mini comic, test comic. Oop, I am not doing this right. No, I totally get about going back and making revisions. It was actually this page is the last page I was working on, and it suddenly clicked. And this is page 29, so I went back to page 1 and started all my revisions. So not as much as you have a lot more pages that you've been working on, but it was one of those things like, yes, I found it. Oh, that's a lot more work I gotta do now.
Yeah, at least how many pages long is your little story?
This little story is only 32 pages. So
that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not, and that's the reason why I decided to do this, because I knew that I was still developing a style. So
that's smart.
Well, it's getting there.
I dreamed big and just dove in.
Yeah, you know what though? That's also a good thing too, because one of my weaknesses is I tend to be a little more reticent, where it takes me a while to really dive in and get it out there. So, ooh, these are gonna need tweaks. Maybe later, or I might just say good enough. Okay, well, it's good enough for now. I'll write down all my notes. Oh, I did not write down notes here. Normally I do. Well, okay, I'm just going to keep going. Yeah, so Craig is not here today. He is busy.
Good thing I came on then.
I know. Otherwise, it would have been, thank you. It's just been me talking and talking. And I still am talking and talking. Okay. Bias due to non-agreement disclosure acts. I have unmentionable art projects. Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's a bummer.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to share them later. Okay. And it's always interesting to be like, what was I working on prior to this? But actually, I want to see what page you're working on. Let's see if you're okay sharing it. Is this in the next page following?
It's a few pages later, actually. Yeah. So basically, it involves a scene change. They go outside. But yeah, these are at the very beginning of book 1. Not the very, well, yeah. Like first, man, I took out a few pages at the beginning, so my page numbers are off. But I would say these are at the, like, probably the first 10 pages. So yeah, just throwing that out there.
The first 10. Oh, so this is this is the revisions you're working on.
Yeah, this page in particular had not been shaded, it's currently showing as not colored on the website. So it's just line art. So it's getting colored now. Well, it has been colored, now it's getting shading on it. So yeah, lighting and shading. I don't know what else to call that phase, but I'm working on them at the same time.
Yeah, value I call lighting and shading too. I think we need a better term for it. So it is getting a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
Yay.
It gives it new life.
Yes.
I'm trying to decide if I'm done with these foreground characters.
No worries. And if I was gonna say, if you are like need to think and you don't want your screen on, just let me know and I can pop it back to mine.
Okay. I think I'm good for now.
There are certain things I know I can work on, and other times it's like I need my full brain power to get this.
Weird. Oh, that's right. Is it being weird on your side? Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was getting interrupted or something because it kind of looks like it's flashing on my end.
Oh, it is a little bit.
Might be a GIMP thing. I don't know.
Might be.
Let's see if changing the display helps. Let's see. Single window mode. See what happens. Oops.
I'll put that on spinning now. Oh, thanks. I clipped. Studio's like, let me save. It's a good thing. That's the nice thing about Clip. It has built-in where it auto saves. It has saved my bacon. It saved my very complex page one time. There we go. Okay. So I complain, but it is good to have. Okay.
Okay. It might have switched to your screen while I was working on something, but I think I changed so you can change the display of GIMP.
There we go.
From,
we can see all GIMP now.
So I originally had it all floating in different windows. So I'm going to try it now with the single window mode. So it's all basically combined right now. So let's see if...
It's fun to see GIMP itself too.
Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see all the tools and everything. Yeah. I could give a tutorial. Yeah, so
it does blink a little bit, but we still see your main screen. So I'm not quite sure if it probably it could just be StreamYard.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, you can see all these different tools here. And in my layers, got some layers going on here. So I'm currently working on these mostly right now. So I have different shading for the different panels since they're going to be a little bit different. Indoor versus outdoor. So basically they're going from, wonder if I can share another page that's opened. Oh, that's
yeah, you should be able to share as long as it's in the same application. Oh, there you go.
Okay, yeah. So they're inside in this one. They are still inside on this one. I can open one where they're the next one because that's where they're outside. This is 17. I need 18.
A cool feature that you can have multiple pages.
Yeah. I think you could do that with Photoshop.
I know about Photoshop, but you can do it with Clip, but you need the upgraded version, which I don't have currently, but I probably will end up. But that's really nice. Yeah, oh, that's cool. I like that.
This is actually, I haven't, let's see, this was posted in last year. So I haven't worked on this one recently, but it came out really nice.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that brick wall too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, got to play around a little bit with some brush work just to get the texture.
Yeah. One thing you might want to, let me see. You might want to just embolden the line. I don't know if it's done, but I thought at first it was all one panel below. The diagonal line separating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it was around the corner.
Okay. So you can't, okay. Yeah, that's another thing. I totally experimented with the panels. I don't want to change
it
that.
a lot. It might honestly the simplest thing that you might want to do is just make it a little bit bolder, the line, the diagonal one, and then the top one to really show it's
Okay.
not just going around the corner of a building.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can try.
Or you could put some white space in between it. But I mean, like I said, the simplest fix is just to put a black line to make it a little darker.
Okay. I might try that.
But at the same time, it also kind of works because that's it's the next panel. So it still gets the same information across.
Yeah. Just make it a little thicker. Let's see how it looks when I zoom out.
Yeah.
I actually did these lines traditionally, just with a fine line pen, and then scanned them in, and then colored digitally with GIMP. So
nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you do all of it that way, traditionally drawn?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did experiment with sketching things out. Like I started out sketching with just, pencil and then inking over that on tracing paper. I still do the inking on tracing paper bit, but I've lately been trying to do the sketching part digitally, print it out, and then do the scanning part. Basically, the ink part is the only thing that has remained the same as far as my comic page making goes. Okay.
I do miss doing more things traditionally, and I'm still playing around with the idea of doing more traditional inks, but
I did try doing. There were 2 pages in which I decided to try doing inking digitally, and the inking I noticed took way longer because I kept going back and changing it.
Yeah.
But if I just did it all in one fell swoop, traditionally, mistakes and all, it's a lot shorter, and I end up not noticing my mistakes later as many. I still
exactly what you said. That tends to be a big thing, at least for me, is it's easier to just like, oh, you make a mistake traditionally, you just got to keep moving, and you can correct the big ones later, but you're not going to worry about all the little bumps and divots that you make in your lines because no one notices it. But I'm right now sitting here at like, what is it? I'm at 200%, fidgeting with little lines, and I know it's costing me more time. So
I am impressed with your attention to detail as far as getting your line work to look so clean.
Well, thank you, but at the same time, it's costing me a lot of time. So I hear you. I mean, that's my big struggle. Is like, I love doing all those like pretty lines, but this thing is taking so long. So
well, that's why you do it on the mini comic, and then you know what to do less of on your big graphic novel.
Yeah, that's the big decision. I got to figure out what I'm going to do exactly.
Yeah. It looks like Josepha has a question.
Let's see. Josepha. Let's pop it up here. Can you show us one time how do you compose your panels or organize them? Ooh. So, and here's the other part. Like, how do you direct your panels and can be tricky to organize them for comic artists? I do everything traditionally. So I'd start out, I laugh. I'm sorry. I laugh because it's been a while since I did the thumbnails for this. I was kind of like, how did I do this again? That's see, inking takes so long. It's literally been a long time since I was thumbnailed. every time I've done a comic, what I will do, I wonder if there's a way I can pull up some examples. Let's see if I can find some. Let me see if I can pull up some thumbnail examples and you can see. Now I'm trying to remember where they're at. Let's see. So hold that thought. I'm going to look for it. Oh, I think I found some. I don't actually have an official place for my thumbnails. They're just kind of scattered everywhere for this thing. I will be doing a blog post at some point. Oh, this will be helpful. Okay, I'm going to pull this together.
Well, I'll answer Josepha's question. Do you share your comic to Webtoons? It's a fine platform for self-promoting comic authors. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about doing that just because, I don't know, the scroll format thing, and I don't know. I certainly can't work as fast as their featured artists can. Do they? I'm not really sure about the rules as far as how often you update. I'm guessing it's probably a freestyle thing if you're just an artist who wants to post their comic on there, to not be a featured artist, just post it for free up there or something like that. But I'm not in. Yeah. Especially since my comic pages are not super, scroll format. They're fixed format. Not the most conducive for scroll format. I'm fine with just hosting it on my own website and linking it in everything. Anything that I'm doing, I'll say, go to my website. I like having my own website to post to, and then just post on. I like the idea of going to social media for that, for sharing it. But I'll keep it in the back of my mind because I know that it's a very popular platform for comics.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like you said, it's a totally different format. So any comic you do, you really ought to be formatting it for the vertical scroll. And that takes time. You already made a comic and now you actually have to reformat again. So
yeah, I'm not doing that part.
One of the reasons I use so many layers is because I started with the intention of putting on Webtoons, and if I do or not still remains to be seen, but that way I can easily move around groups. And I'll show you how I do that in a second here, but you still gotta format it. So you don't have to abide by a schedule. It's better if you do. I mean, if you're just putting your comic up there for fun, to start getting an audience, you're not like a featured artist or a contracted artist, so you can say I'm updating every Tuesday or every once a month. But I think if you're a contracted artist, you do make an agreement with Webtoons.
Yeah.
Often you end up posting. Here we go. So I'm just putting this in order. You can kind of get a little snapshot of kind of my process on a page. All right. Well, that will work for now. Is that? Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share my page for a little bit. Minimize that. So many screens and images. I can't keep up. Okay. So let's see. Actually.
Well, thanks, Josepha, for the question and sharing your comic. He's got a comic on Webtoons.
Oh, cool. Well, she does. Yes. Well, put your link to your comic if you have it. We'd love to see it. All right. So you're asking about how do I compose my panels and how do I organize them? So answering this question, how do I direct my panels? And I guess it comes back to the thumbnailing stage. So this is a page of thumbnails. This actually has multiple pages in it, and they're really quick. I like to start with the first impressions that I get, like the first images, the most important images that I see that are most necessary to get the information across of what's happening in a scene. So I just like to keep it simple, and you can see they're like really just little blocks. And I know that, like, for instance, let me see if I can find an example here. Actually, these down here, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Right. Oops, I can select it because I'm on a paint program. Like this here. Actually, this here is the page I am working on right now. So I think it's this one right here. You see she has her hands here, and then she's grabbing the broken pieces and she's sort of molding them in her hands, and they're turning into stars above her head. And then you have this character here. So that all started, I knew that she was going to be basically taking her hands and doing something with the objects. And then I kind of knew that I wanted to zoom out and see what she was doing with them. And then she releases them to the sky. So this ended up being these panels right here ended up being just one. But those were just kind of the first impressions. So I just put it down on paper. And then this picture of someone in a window and then zoomed up, and then them looking up to the sky and then actually looking at the sky. So I took these panels. Unfortunately, I don't have the thumbnails or the compositions to them, but I do my main impression, and then I take my thumbnails here and I put them together in what I call a comp or comprehensive. So I basically format it into a basic page, and these are really nice and cleaned up. They can be a lot looser, but like I said, I don't have that particular page, but we're going to actually focus in on this one right here. And then I just kind of figure out like the flow of, I want this much time, I want this much attention given to this top panel, and maybe all of these little things get a separate beat, but they're a lot shorter because they kind of need to be very snappy. Whereas this, she's sort of standing back and observing. So you kind of are standing back with her and taking that time to observe. So you'll show, so this is what I do. This is the comprehensive. And that also gives me a chance to really compare two pages together and see how they look. And because my intention is to put these together in a book, so I like to see what they're doing. I make any notes here. I was doing text here for a while, so this is kind of changed over time. You can even see there's even a smaller little sketch here. But then I can also see, like, do I want to pair these two together? Do I want to pair this one and this one together? So that's my comp stage. And now I did a bunch of sketches, and then this was my original inks for this page. So I figured that I'd actually break up these two panels, and then I had, those pretty much stayed the same, and this pretty much stayed the same. And this is, I was kind of doing a blue line thing, but I've sort of changed that from now on. But after that, it changed again. So I actually updated the artwork a little bit, fixed a few things, and then it actually changed quite a bit. And I took out one of the panels. Just you kind of iron out the kinks, and you kind of figure out what's breaking up the flow, what's not important. Going back here, I just realized that looking at this element was not important for the story, and it was taking away from the main importance, which was her talking. So I decided to eliminate that. So the text is going to go here, and this is actually space for the text as well. And that's kind of the rough way I go about doing it. But I always start with my thumbnails and just getting the image down and deciding, what stays and what's not. Like these three, I actually ended up only using this one and this one. I found out that's like, oh, okay, I don't really need that one. But you're really determining, it's good to get all down, and then you're determining what is necessary and what's not, because really you want to get rid of the superfluous and the extra information that's not important, that doesn't help convey the story. So keeping it simple. So I hope that answers your question. I'm actually going to put it back on you for a minute, Maria.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's how I do things.
That's cool.
Now, and it'll change in the future. Actually, I need to quickly step out just for a few minutes. Are you okay hanging out for a minute while I'm gone?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I will be right back.
Well, hi, everyone. This is fun. I think I might play around with just doing a dark background for this one. I don't really care about the wall. Hello. Sounds like Craig is here. Hi, Craig. Thank you. And Josepha, how do you find your inspiration for a comic? Good question. Man, well, like present tense or past tense? Like, as far as present tense, I've had this. I don't know. It's just many years of wanting to do a webcomic and wanting to do one about shapeshifters. It's basically the motivation. I really like my version of shapeshifters. Suppose I could show a page and show somebody shapeshifting, I guess, because I'm working on pages where they're just plain humans talking. So I'll open one real quick. Show and tell. I think I'll do one from book 2. Let's see. I think this is. Oh wow, that's really bright. No, I changed my mind. Those are ugly. Oh dear. Okay. Now I just need to remember. I think it was 40. That looked good. Or was it 41? Not that one. Maybe this one? This one.
There it is. Looks like
It's okay.
Black Manic is here. And Helen.
That's not very clear.
Black Manic says,
Yeah,
love
hi.
shapeshifters. so much to work with visually, but just don't give them tails.
I gave mine tails. Too late.
But it's okay.
They're not.
Switch in between.
Let me see here. I need to pick. I wanted to show a page that, you know what? I'm just gonna open. Well, yeah, I do want to open it in GIMP because it's all focused on GIMP right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I should just. Let me try this one.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So when I started, I did single pages as GIMP files, and then I later on decided to try doing 2 pages in one GIMP file.
Ooh.
Yeah. So literally, I didn't start out with a thought and with an idea in mind of how the transformation sequence would look. So as a result, my transformation sequence is just silhouettes. That's basically it. It's either in one panel they're there, and then the next panel they're an animal or something like that, or vice versa, or it's silhouette. So you see it from a distance. I just, I really wanted, I think my high ideals, the goal set high, sky high, like perfectionist attitude about drawing, I really wanted to do like disintegrating and then reintegrating. Man, that would be so bad. That would be so hard to do and get it right.
A lot harder than drawing tails on all your characters.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And your characters already have tails on them, so
pretty much.
They're
not too bad. This guy's a wolf, so his wolf tail is actually really easy to draw. This guy, this kid, he's not even a shapeshifter, and he has a tail all the time because it's a costume.
Oh,
he's supposed to be dressed up as a fox.
Oh, funny. Or Craig, just like, no.
So I'm already, yeah. It's actually funny. I actually had more complicated rules going into this initial idea for Morphic. It wasn't going to be humans. It was going to be people with superpowers, but still had animal features. And then you got these powerful beings who could take the form of animals. And anyway, it was super complicated. I'm like, I don't think this is going to work. So I ended up making the compromise when I realized I couldn't draw wings, when I tried to draw somebody with wings on repeat. And I'm like, this is too hard. And to draw it this frequently, I wouldn't be able to do it and have it look right. So I decided, you know what? Let's just put in a local festival where everyone gets to dress up as animals if they want to. And because I was that attached to the animal theme. Like the Ari, my main character, I really wanted her to be a red bird. I wanted her to be a red bird. And then I wanted Chan, her friend, to be a fox. And then Lane, her other friend, to be a snake. And, so they were going to have these features on them to distinguish that they were of that kind of appearance. But
yeah,
that was really going, that not only would that be hard to do, but that would be really hard for people to get into. That it wouldn't be as approachable for new readers, I think.
Yeah.
So this turned out to be a little bit better.
I think it's a creative solution.
Yeah. Just give them a reason to dress up, and there you go.
That's the great thing about being in control of these comics. You're like, well, it's because of this. So yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Or just leaving, I find that you don't have to explain everything away either. There's a lot that can be just left up to the viewer's imagination. Why it is that way.
So this is since we were on a topic of text earlier, this is the font I'm currently using in my comic. It was it was a web-generated font based off of
Mhm.
my handwriting. And I decided after all these years, it's probably for the best that I put this to bed and use the new one. The one where somebody knew what they were doing when they were making it.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of actually a cool look to it.
Thank
But
you.
it does have, it's a little hard to read quickly
Mm-hmm.
in just a couple areas, but that's cool that actually that you could make that font, you know, from your
Yeah.
handwriting.
Yeah.
That's neat. But it's good to update too.
Mm-hmm. I felt like I needed to, if I really wanted to market my comic, may as well make it easier to read, especially since I decided to go make it more complicated by adding dialect in there and using a different font to designate a different dialect. Ah.
Then it gets I like the choice of word balloons now.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to figure out all kinds of different things for the things that because right now they're telepathically communicating. I'm gonna have to figure something out when I reach that part. Man, the only thing I could think of would be like she thinks she's talking on the phone, but they're actually communicating through this thing. And yeah, so this is going to be interesting. It's like you can kind of tell here a little bit that she goes from normal talking to telepathic talking. You can still hear her talking, but what she's saying out loud is also being transferred through this thing, so that this guy who's many, many miles away is able to hear what she's saying in clear, really clearly. So there's going to be that, as well as phone calls, because there's a phone call conversation in the first book. So yeah, I'll
There
have
are
to put some more
ways.
thought into it.
I've seen people use the shape of their word balloons or putting on like little extra
Like edges, sort of like
yeah, a
on the
little
jacket.
different for
I
phone
can do
calls.
that.
Do the edges where like a little jagged on one side and on the opposite corner a little jagged. It shows that well, no, that's usually when something is coming through a phone, like you hear the person on the other line. Telepathically, you could. Ooh, I don't know about that one. You could do the little carrots, but that usually indicates a different language. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Carrots on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just look up guides on.
See how other people have done it, basically. Yeah, because it's got to be clear what's going on. The character might not know, but we want the readers to know.
Exactly. Very important.
Very important.
It's interesting. Yeah, I had a scene I was drawing. It was a junkyard, and it wasn't even a scene. It was just like a small image, but I still had to clarify what was in that scene, even though it was a junkyard and inherently disorderly. But you still have to be deliberate with how you organize your information. I was going to see if I could find. I had a link talking about different word balloons. Let me see if I can find it.
It looks like we got a comment from Jada for their digital novel above. Huh. Don't know if that's what they meant to say or not.
Said she put the link to an image for my traditional novel. So the link is above, and she does thumbnails, and she puts on Procreate, and finish in pencils and watercolor or not. Oh, cool. Oh, I miss watercolor. I miss it. Oh, okay. Well, I will have to look for that link. I think I may have missed it. Link above. Jada, you might have. I can't find it. If you would repost it, I would be able to check it out. But
it's possible that YouTube probably hid the links shared in the public chat. I've noticed before whenever I would try to share a link on Jason's chat publicly that it would like people wouldn't address those comments even though it would show for me, and I would be like, they're reading all the comments around my comment but not indicating that they've seen mine. So I looked it up, and basically I think it's YouTube's way of making sure people don't spam.
I think you might be right on that. And now I wonder if actually the link to your comic showed up. So
I think if you were to share links, I think if the host shared links,
okay.
I think those show up. I don't know. Do you guys see any links posted by Jessica?
Let me know.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know our blind spots. We are learning art and technology today.
Yeah, they're both important.
My goodness. All right, I'm going to see if I can find this link I was telling you about. I guess I should probably clean up all the links I have. Oops. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it right now. Oh, wait. I will check that out, but I don't think that's it. No. Okay. Another time then. Another time. So Dan says the link is way up there in the chat. Maybe if you repost it, Jada, and then check, let us know when you repost it so we can either say if we see it or not.
Or you could send a message to Jessica on Instagram.
Because I haven't been able to figure out. I would think you could message me on YouTube, but I can't tell you how right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I've never live streamed before, like on my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, she says she just put on her Instagram.
That works.
There we go. Cool. We can check that out. Okay, I need to get a little bit of work done.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'll go ahead and throw it on my screen for a little bit.
Cool.
It is getting close to my cutoff time.
I'm really impressed with the stars on there.
Thank you. I don't remember how I did that. I guess I did it back in the spring. I think I just had a shape and I edited it, and I'll come back in a second there. But it's so funny doing. I don't know if you're feeling this, but like when I'm doing my revisions, it's kind of like, okay, where are my layers? What was I thinking? How did I do this before? Like what? Where was everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely relearning, remembering what I had going on. All right. And I'm going to have to knock these lines back a bit. decided I wanted to outline everything, all these lines in black, and it gives a little better dimension. It's worth it. But now I know how to move forward, so that's a cool thing. Nope, okay, not working. Well, I'll just keep it like that for now. Okay. Come back to that later. You can tell by the quiet we are getting work done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Knocking it back. Oh, I totally forgot to put those in. There we go. Okay, I'll take some fixing. Let's move along. Keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
as we're talking about trying not to put too much detail and it's so easy to zoom in, I sometimes wish these programs had something that prevents you from zooming in close. Like, you could like lock it, be like, put restraints on the zoom.
Maybe it'll give you a notification. Hey, you're in really
Danger zone.
You're in too far. Like, no one's going to be noticing this at pixel level.
Right.
Pixel level.
Like a warning siren. You're too close.
I could see that being useful.
There are times where I'm just like, I need some guardrails. But I think I hate to admit it, but I think it's just going to come to me being like, you know what? I just have to be self-controlled and practice saying no. That's as far as I'm, as much detail as I'm going to do.
I would say, for me personally, I find that keeping myself to a time limit helps me to just focus on the what the comic page is supposed to accomplish. Still give it my best, but I know what amount of time I can give myself to give it my best and not be too worried about. Because are these going to be like traditional dimensions comic pages, or are they? Because my comic pages, I used a template off of Kablam, and I chose the manga one, so they're small.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I do have it mapped to 11 by 17 with the idea of making it smaller. I had some dimension in mind. I just can't remember what it was. But I was also still trying to figure out if I was going to post to like webtoons or put it for web. So that also
bigger makes sense.
Yeah. Oops. Oh my goodness. No wonder my stabilization is so low. Whoa. But I have been thinking, like, so the interesting thing about this comic I'm working on, it's introducing my main character, and it's not really the format. I mean, she's talking to the audience, so that's not the format that I will be employing in my graphic novel. So I'm strongly, and it's very more bombastic, I would say. So the colors are, and like it's all about space and it's splashy and it's meant to be splashy, this little mini comic, but really my main graphic novel is not going to be as bombastic. There will be nice, really pretty pages, but it's spread over a lot more, so it has more space to actually tell the story in between. I don't have to make it as bombastic as this one is. So with that said, I think I can make it the line art a little more casual, and I've actually considered doing some of it in black and white. I don't know yet. There is something alluring about black and white.
I could see it looking good as a black and white, personally. And like I don't know. It's just like I don't know how your story is gonna go, but if in my mind I could see it looking. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good way to communicate what I'm thinking in my mind, but it's like I don't know. It's just like if there's a lot of drama elements in it, I guess it would make sense. Like it's like a comic with a lot of dialogue that's got drama in it would make sense for it to follow the lines of manga a little bit and manga's comics look really great in black and white.
Yeah.
And even on the not glossy paper, just like
yeah. There's something more tactile about it, I think. In some ways, where it's just a lot of my favorite comics, they are print comics, but they just have they're all in black and white and grayscale, really, and they're just gorgeous. And I think one of the reasons this has taken so long is just figuring out the colors. Now, I still would have like a lot of not issues, but value that I have to solve, and that still doesn't go away. But balancing colors is a whole nother act, and I just kind of like the idea of simplicity and just keeping it based on the story.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you've been following Jason's Phobos, I mean, his stuff is just gorgeous, and there's just something so pretty about the
man. I wasn't even thinking to his quality. His quality is another dimension there to what I was imagining. Like even just a simple cell shading technique on black and white would look really nice, I think, for somebody holding the comic book open with pages similar to what they would find in a manga book of that quality, and be like, yeah, this is a fun story. Like, they would be taken in by the story. But this is me going back to my memories of reading books at Borders.
Oh, yes.
Looking at the comic section, the graphic novels. I didn't grow up with comics and comic books. I grew up with books and, graphic novels and web comics, basically. So
that's similar to me too. I was much less comic book, and definitely more starting with webtoons, web comics, and traditional print and graphic novels, and more independently created things. So it's funny because like a lot of people are like, oh, following all these Western comics. I'm just kind of like, I never really read any of this. Oh well, each to their own. Ooh, I don't think I want to do that actually. Nope. Ah, man, I really need a warning. Getting too close. Again. Lots of lines. We said checking. Chronic cryptid. I like the lighting. Oh, thank you, Jaden. Josepha. I know. Okay, I know I'm saying your name wrong, and I'm so sorry. I gotta say it a little. It's not Josepha. Josepha. Oh, I'm so sorry. If you can tell me, just correct me if I'm saying it wrong. Let's see. Jada says, I think details decide partly on whether it is intended for print or for web. Yep. I said a layer in Procreate, which was exactly screen size, so I know if it looked good at that size. Interesting. Yeah. That's a whole nother layer, is realizing if it is what is intended for. And a lot of art now and comics are being consumed on phones. So is the text legible? Is it big enough? Like that's the next thing I kind of have to discover and solve. Okay. It's almost 5 o'clock. So we'll probably work for another 5-ish, 10-ish minutes.
Okay.
Balance, but I'll see if I can finish up a little more. Here, I'm going to share what you're doing so we can see what you're working on. Yeah, I like those text boxes. They look great.
Oh, thank you. Yep, doing it on everything now. It's begun.
I will say you should check out Clip Studio at some point. It has really nice.
I got a free trial for buying this thing, the Wacom tablet. Apparently, I don't know if they still have the deal going on, but you could, when you buy a Wacom tablet, at least the offer was extended to me to pick 2 out of 3 options for free software, and they had Clip Studio free for 1 year as one of the options. So I currently have that. And I did a little bit of stuff on there, but I've been mostly focused on getting stuff done for my comic. But I'm thinking at the end of my trial period, I'll probably just go ahead and buy it. Probably start with the smaller package to start, maybe, possibly.
I would start with the smaller package. I mean, that's actually what I'm using right now.
Hmm.
But if you all, well, check for the sales. They occasionally do run sales. So, and they're, I wish I got it when it was on sale. I didn't, but it was pretty deeply discounted. How long is your Clip Studio trial activated, or have you not activated it yet?
Like I was actually able to open it on here and play with the tools and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I really should play with it some more.
I get it.
But yeah, I've been pretty focused.
Time.
Zoomed in.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I know it takes away from the other stuff, and so it's like a learning period.
I'll be learning a whole nother way of doing things, which I hope will actually be a lot more helpful than what GIMP does. GIMP is actually supposed to be an open source kind of version of Photoshop in a way. So it can be used for photo editing as well. But yeah, it's kind of like Photoshop in the way that it's not specifically formatted for comics, whereas Clip Studio is.
Yeah, I'm using Photoshop less and less, I gotta admit. But I'm not still willing yet to stop my subscription because it does have things that are still very helpful, and
yeah,
there'll be a time where it's like I'm gonna need it, and like,
yeah.
But it's good, nice features. Oh my goodness, we got a lot of chat all of a sudden. Okay. So, let me see if I say this right. Is it Yastafa? Tell me if that's right. With more like a Y, not a J. As in Jess. See, I guess I'm biased because my name is Jess. So I see J. I'm like, it has to be J, the J sound.
It looks like Craig left a comment too. He caught the tail end of what you grew up on, and he said he's from the floppy comic generation. Loved some Wolverine back in the late 80s and early 90s.
There you go.
Wolverine sounds like it would have been a good comic to follow back then. I enjoyed the Wolverine in the movies. That's my only exposure.
When I initially heard the word floppy, I thought floppy disk. I was like, I mean, I remember floppy disk, but floppy comics.
Oh man, I never used a floppy disk, but I remember computer class in grade school. They were talking about how the floppy disk was on its way out.
It was.
Yep, it sure was.
Ooh, actually, I think I got to show you something really cool on that note.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I have it. Oh, let's see.
Now I'm curious.
I saw this I bought this at a craft fair. It's a little floppy disk notebook.
Now that's something to give somebody who's into tech right there.
And like they have, this is I don't even know, like they had a bunch of these, And they just like there's all like a random writing on it, and hold on. Yay! It still does the thing.
Whoa.
This is from Office Depot.
Wow. That's
So,
great.
It's fun. They had a whole bunch of these, and it's like this is from 2003. That's actually pretty late for a floppy disk. Disc number 2 on.
Oh, wait, there's an actual floppy disk on it? I thought it was like a printed thing.
No, it's actually like someone's handwriting, but someone collected these, and they just
Oh,
that's
because they're probably worthless by themselves.
right.
So why not make a craft out of them? That makes sense.
So next generation, this is the stuff of the childhood. Fun. So no, and I admittedly I was not really around for the big floppy disk. This was kind of more when I was younger, and then CDs. So Dan,
VHS. Cannot forget the VHS. I've had many fun memories of VHS tapes. I got to watch movies by myself on VHS. I learned how to control the VHS player by myself. It was so great.
Hey, that was a big responsibility back then.
Yes, it was.
But make sure you rewind when you're done.
Yes, I remember that was the #1 rule. Rewind.
You gotta rewind, or you get something from the library or from the store, and you're like, it's at the very end. It's showing the spoilers. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
I watched a VHS recently, and I think it was like Aladdin. I watched the old school Aladdin, and it had the preview like coming in the next year. It's like, I don't know. It was like the Lion King coming in the next year. Like,
oh man, yeah, the previews—they're the best when they've already done their job, and their time has passed.
It was so great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where you can get the floppy disks, but I don't know. I don't think it's from this one. Anyways, I'm sure you can go anywhere and look up floppy disk on Etsy. But yeah, good old VHS. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go and finish checking the chat.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna roll it up here. We got so yes, Josipa. Okay. Emphasis on the O. Josipa. All right. Let me know if I'm wrong again. And I'm going to try and remember. So I might still call you like Josipa. And you're probably like, I'm sorry. And I'm an audible learner. There we go. By the way, you guys should check out Josipa's designs on Instagram. They're really cool. And she has a bunch of really cool shirts and t-shirts and fun designs out there. So check those out. I thought they're really cool. Black Manic says, very cool floppy disk notepad that'll confuse your kids someday.
Oh yeah.
They'll just probably be like, what's a notepad? What's paper?
I feel like paper isn't going away anytime soon.
Oh man, that would break my heart.
The only way for paper to be replaced would be if they figured out how to computerize paper so that you could figure out what somebody wrote on it from somewhere else or something. But I think people will still trust paper even then. I think it's too universally accepted.
That is a hope. Let's see. Apply a save icon notepad. I love it. Yay!
Very clever.
All right. I'm going to practice. Josipa. All right. Call me out if I forget it again. That's, well, not anyone important. Potential spam. But that's actually probably time. Time to wrap it up. It is 5:05. Time to get dinner started. But yeah, thank you so much, Maria, for hanging out and for showing us your awesome comic. It's just really fun to see where you're at in that. And
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
absolutely, I'm glad
I
you asked.
appreciate the tips.
Yes. Hey, we're all in it together. We're all figuring these things out. So no, it looks really good. So I'm
Thank
excited to see progress. And it was Morphic, right?
Yep, Morphic.
Morphic comic. Check it out. And I'll go ahead and I'll show. We have, this is the page. Didn't get a whole lot done, but who cares? It's mostly done anyways. So
Yeah, looks good.
yeah, just adding some lines in, tweaking up. So thank you guys so much for joining in the chat. I'm still figuring out next week's stream. As I'm nearing the end of this little intro comic, I'm getting ready to package it together. I'm getting ready to put it out there so you guys can actually see it. And I'm working on getting my website up and running. So may or may not be doing a stream next week. I think I still will, but I might keep it a little bit shorter. I might do more of like a different style. We'll see. So stay updated on that. I might need, actually, now that I'm nearing the end of it, I kind of need to just wrap things up and focus and get the last few pages done. But yeah, so stay tuned. But thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. And Maria, thank you again. And we'll go ahead and sign off and see you guys next time.
Bye, Jessica.
Bye. Good to see ya. See ya, everyone.